Hi guys, it's Shining Polaris. What's going on? Just finished watching the news episode of AEW Dynamite. You probably guys noticed I did not post a video about Revolution, and that is because I actually went there in person. I got my shirt and my autograph poster right here. Instead of posting videos of myself, I posted a couple clips of what I took there live, and I will continue to post more because I have a lot of video I just want to share. So for this particular little vlog I'm doing, I'm just going to talk about two major things that happened on this Dynamite. The whole episode was great. You had a lot of matches that resulted in the fallout of Revolution. But we're not going to go through that. We're just going to talk about basically their AEW's answer to the botch that happened at Revolution. Quickly, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I did post a video about it. What I actually saw over there live. At the end, the ring was supposed to do this huge explosion, and instead it did not. It just sizzled with a little bit of sparklers and smoke. So it was a really big disappointment for a lot of people watching that. But they addressed it at this episode, and it was pretty good. So we're going to start off right away. I'm also just going to mention the match. So the first match was Young Bucks, Matt Jackson versus Rey Fenix. Rey Fenix beated Matt Jackson, and there you go. It was actually a pretty good match. A great first match, so. But right after that, immediately after that, was what Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley had to say, which I was surprised. I thought they were going to keep that towards the end, but no, they addressed it right away. So you had Eddie Kingston talking first, and he, was basically saying that the reason, he did what he did, or he acted the way he did, because he was saying that, he had a lot of anxiety and a panic attack just being in that situation, because when he saved Moxley, he really thought he was gonna die from the explosion, and he's like, that whole situation just reminded him of his time when he was in jail, and he was saying the guards like making fun of him and telling him that he's gonna go in jail forever or whatever, and he said just because of that it just made him very panicky at being in that situation, and blacked out. And he was like, I don't care what you guys think. If you want to say that I'm a wuss, go ahead, but I'm just being real. This is why he like passed out after saving Moxley. And then he went on and was saying like, that Kenny and his friends there were just big goofballs, that they really don't know what they're doing. He's just trying to be like, is he trying to be the Joker? And he's pointing to Moxley. He's like, Moxley, and you're Batman or whatever. So then Jon Moxley started talking, and he was saying like what he said a couple things that was really funny. First, he was like, who built you this? Where'd you buy this bomb from? He's like, really? Is this because there's no way you would have bought this bomb from Tony Khan. He's like, it would have worked. And then Eddie Kingston was like, no, he bought that bomb on Impact. And he was like, that's right. He's like, I like that. Yes, Impact Wrestling paid for that bomb. And he's like, and when you picked up that bomb, did it say Big Acme on the side? So just basically just setting up, saying that Kenny is like a comic book villain, basically. Another thing that was funny was he was saying that he was telling Kingston like, thank you for coming in and saved me, but couldn't you have came in a little bit earlier when when he was getting beaten up by 3 people? and Eddie was like, hey, you know me, man, if I'm gonna come out on pay-per-view, I better make sure I look good first. So I just thought that was very cute. And they were saying that everybody expected this big explosion, but it didn't happen. And Mox was like, instead, I just got this stupid shirt. He was just showing one of the shirts that they sell over there. Yeah, overall, that whole segment was really funny, and they both sold it really well. It was a very like real segment, I guess you could say. So I guess that's like what most of us were expecting. What was going to happen was that Kingston was going to say, that he passed out due to anxiety, and that, the botch ring was all of, Kenny's fault, because he's just just an idiot and he don't know what he's doing. So yeah, so that is the first segment where they addressed it. Afterwards, you got Cody in a squash match. He just beat up some jobber, I don't know, which resulted in Cody fighting Penta. Then you had another like Sting segment, and then you had a little best friends segment. Ugh, best friends are gonna go. They're challenging Miro and Kip again for another match. Ugh, and then you had the Christian. No, then you had a Ethan Page debut match versus Lee Johnson, which was really good, but unfortunately the NBA sounds was playing in the background, so that was very odd. So you couldn't even watch it because the sound was just so loud. But Tony Khan or AEW uploaded that whole match on YouTube for free, so go ahead and watch that. Watch Ethan Page debut on YouTube. And then yeah, so then right after that was Christian Cage debut, and what he was like, debut and interview, what you can say. So, and that was a pretty good segment. And I'll tell you why in a second. Alright, so the next segment was supposed to be like the debut of Christian Cage on Dynamite. He wasn't gonna like in a match or anything. He was just gonna talk about like why he's there. So you had Tony Schiavone already out ready to introduce Christian Cage. But instead, you see like the girl dancers with the little broom. They come out, and Tony and the commentators are like, "What is going on? This isn't Christian's entrance." Of course, you know what that means. That's Kenny Omega. His music and his little screen thing came on, and out came Kenny Omega. You know, full crew on hand. He had Don Callis and the Good Brothers with him. So it was Don Callis, the one that was talking, and he was saying. He just went and, you know, basically addressed that little botch thing he's had. But he was like, he's like, I know all you guys, you know, you wait in to see Christian come out, but, you know, we're the world champions and we do whatever we want, so we call the shots. So he was saying that they're not going to claim or deny if they had involvement in the explosion. But Don was like, you know, this is a win-win situation for us. He's saying that that if the ring exploded, you know, it would have like killed Jon Moxley, right? But it didn't matter because Kenny was still the champion. But he said if the ring didn't explode, it would, you know, humiliate Jon and Eddie, but Kenny would still be the winner. So they were saying that for the ring not to explode, it was actually better for them because you had, you know, Jon was supposed to, leave with a bang, and instead he just looked silly, like lying there. And then with Eddie Kingston coming out to save him, they didn't know that was going to happen, and they were like, that's like the, you know, the cherry on top, because Eddie's coming out and he's trying to save his friend. It was supposed to be this big moment for Eddie, but instead they took that away for when the ring didn't go off. So they said that made them very happy. And then what was better was that the crowd really wanted to, you know, be in that moment too, and they were a bit disappointed and angry that the ring didn't go off. So again, as a result, because the crowd wasn't happy, they were happy. So they were like, this is a big, you know, win-win for us. So after they said that, Eddie Kingston comes out to the ring. He didn't say nothing or anything. He just came right up to the ring, you know, ready to like face Kenny Omega. But Don was right there, and he was trying to, like, he got in between them, and he's like, hey Eddie, you know, you remember us? You know, we go way back. He's like, remember you used to work for Impact Wrestling? He's like, you know, we took you on because you could have been a potential star. You were like a great wrestler. And then Don was saying, but you remember that we fired you too? And he's like, you remember why we did that? He's like, because you do this all your whole life. You climb all the way to the top, and you're about so close to grab that brass ring, but then you find a way to mess it up, and then you fall all the way back down. And he's like, we just, you know, that's why we had to let you go. So you could just see Eddie just really boiling at Don saying that, and then Don was like, so how about we're gonna give you a chance to redeem yourself? You know, he's like, we're gonna do the countdown again, and he's like, this time, you know, if when it gets to 0, you better be running out of the ring. He's like, if not, he's like, gonna get the Good Brothers. They're gonna, you know, beat you down. So the countdown started happening. You got that like alarm noise going off. And this was so funny. I mean, Don and Kenny, they're just such idiots. They started mocking Eddie, and they were like, "Oh my God, like, oh, the bomb's gonna go off, you know, save me, save me." So Kenny Omega gets in the center of the ring, and he's like laying down, and he's like, "Save me!" And he was, what did he say? He said to Don, he's like, "69 me, please." It was so funny. They did the aerial shot where Don is really on top of Kenny, and they were really 69 each other, and I almost think that like the Good Brothers were shocked. And if you know the Good Brothers gimmick, they're very stupid too, but for them it just looked really shocked that Don and Kenny were really on top of each other like that. I just thought it was hilarious. You gotta watch that part again. So anyway, so after I went to 0, nothing happened, and Kenny's like, "Oh my God, did the bomb go off? Oh, did it go off? Am I dead?" And then he's like, "Oh no, nothing happened." But you know, he's like, but I'm such, you know, I'm panicking because I'm getting flashbacks of when I had detention in school." Like, he was just, oh my God, they were just really killing Eddie up there. So now it's Kenny face to face with Eddie, and he's really yelling at him. He's like, what is the point of you being up here? What is exactly you want to come up here for? You want to hit the world champ? He's like, "Go ahead and do it," because he's like, "There's 4 of us here. One of you there, you know, what are you actually gonna do?" So Eddie's just still standing there, not saying anything, and Kenny's like, "Look at you, can't even break character. You're so angry." He's like, go and punch me in the face. Like, go and attack me. Give you 1 free shot. So Eddie goes and he clocks Kenny, knocks him out. So he is just on the ground, flat, like just knocked out. And the second he did that, Good Brothers came to attack Eddie Kingston. And then a second later, who comes out to save him? Jon Moxley. So Moxley comes out and immediately attacks Carl Anderson. And then you had Eddie Kingston attack Doc Gallows. So those two are outside of the ring. Still just Kenny in the middle ring, writhing in pain. He's about to get up, and Don Callis is, you know, like, "Kenny, get out of the ring, get out of the ring," because at that moment, who walks out into the ring? It was Christian Cage. So he comes out, but he's walking very slowly to the ring. He's just super calm. He goes inside the center of the ring, and now Kenny's up, and he and Christian are face to face. But Kenny has his hand out, like he's trying to say, you know, maybe trying to, you know, get some relationship with Christian. But Christian didn't do anything, and you could just see him go, "No," like that. And Kenny's like, "Really?" You know, like he's shocked, like, "You don't want to shake hands with me?" So that got Kenny really insulted, and he goes and he pushes, he kicks Christian, but Christian dodges it, and he tries to do some sort of maneuver onto Kenny, but then Don Callis grabs Kenny by the leg and throws him out of the ring. Kenny is still, like, being the same person he is trying to get back in the ring to attack Christian, but Don's like, no, not today, not today. So they're starting to walk off, but Kenny is still looking in the ring, you know, yelling at Christian. Christian, very calmly, just comes down and picks up Omega's championship belt, because it's still in the center of the ring, and he just looks at it thoughtfully, very calm, nothing else, just looks at it. And then that was the end of that segment. So you hear the commentators are like, what is Christian plans here? And of course, you know, they're saying he wants to get the title belt one day. So that will be cool to see, you know, Christian's journey to that. So yeah, so I think the way that AEW dealt with this botch, I think was really good. And just reading the comments right now on Twitter, it seems like everyone else agreed with it too. I mean, there's no way to hide it. And this is like, it's not a perfect way to get out of it, but there's really no other way because it was such a big botch. But I think the way that AEW did it was really good, because you got, you know, with Moxley and Kingston segment, it was taking like a more serious turn when they both talked, and then with Omega and Don Callis segment, it was dealt with a more like humorous way. So you know, they just have for both audience, you know, whoever wants whatever they want to see, right? So yeah, I just think it was dealt really good. I believe they had like Christian at the end there, so kind of get the viewer to, you know, kind of focus on Christian more than the explosion thing. So, you know, with Christian getting picking up the belt, now you can be like, okay, well, they dealt with that with Moxley and Kingston, but now, you know, maybe Kenny has a new focus with Christian, so I think that's what they were trying to do. Otherwise, I think the way they dealt with that whole thing was very good. I mean, the best case scenario they could have, and I didn't have any doubt, because you really got the four people that were talking. They're like very good speakers and promoters, so no doubt in my mind that I think they did this very well. So of course we got to address one more thing, because I really thought that was going to be the big thing of this episode, but actually they did one more big thing, which I think may be another way to try to get viewers to forget about the botch, which is great, because I'm going to forget about it right now. So we're just going to talk about that Inner Circle segment. So it's always very weird to have a segment to main event and end a show. It's always a match, so that should have already given me a hint, but of course I didn't pay attention. I just sat there like, okay, maybe, you know, this is just whatever it's gonna be. So it was the Inner Circle War Council. So Jericho came out and basically said, you know, things are not going so well in the Inner Circle, so maybe one way to deal with it is, like in war, maybe, you know, add more people so they can, you know, win the war or whatever. MJF was like, no, you know what, how about we don't add more people? How about we, you know, kick some people out? The moment he said that, Sammy Guevara came out. And Jericho's like, I don't want to see your face anymore. I don't want to hear your name. What are you doing here? But Sammy's like, please, Jericho, let me show you this. Watch this for me, please. So he points to the, you know, screen there, and Sammy Guevara went and hid a hidden camera in Jericho's room. Not Jericho, MJF's room. And it was Hager and Santana Ortiz were sitting in the room already. MJF comes in. And he's basically saying, like, don't you all agree we need new leadership? He's like, I think it's time. He's like, we, you know, to make the group better and to move forward, we have to cut the, you know, head off the snake, which means, you know, let's get rid of Jericho. So that was the end of his little video. MJF was basically telling Jericho, you know, that they already talked about it and they think it is time for new leadership. So he was basically saying, like, then he went and said to Hager and Santana Ortiz, like, you know, go get him. So he goes. So they're like putting their gloves on, looking at Jericho, right, approaching him, ready to fight him, right? But then all of a sudden, all three of them turned around, and now you have the whole Inner Circle, original Inner Circle, back together again with Sammy, and they're all facing MJF. So now, you know, now MJF is like, wait, hold up, let me explain. Jericho's like, shut up. We knew this was going to happen. We were just waiting for you to make a mistake. And now, you know, he's like, you think we're stupid? You don't think we talk to each other? Like, we knew what you were planning. And so Jericho's like, I'm the one that brought you in the group. So he's like, I'm the one that's going to take you out. So you're fired, MJF. And he like pushes MJF. So now MJF is like on the ground, and he's like almost crying. He's like, please, like, don't beat me. Because Jericho's saying that we're going to give you an Inner Circle beatdown. And MJF is, you know, like pleading. He's like, please don't hurt me, whatever. And he's like, I swear to God, Jericho, that was not my intention. I never wanted to become the leader of the group. I never wanted to, you know, break up this group. And he's like about to like cry and break in his voice. And all of a sudden his face turns serious. He's like, yeah, that's because I was forming my own group. And the moment he said that, the lights went out. And it went out for like 10 seconds or so. And when it came back up, you see the Inner Circle, you know, still standing there looking at MJF. Who was behind them? It was, as I would just call them, the Four Horsemen, right? You had Tully Blanchard, FTR, Shawn Spears, and Wardlow behind Inner Circle. Inner Circle turns around. First thing you see is Dax hitting Hager with the bubbly. So that knocked Hager out immediately. And you had the whole rest of the team beating everybody up. It was Dax and Cash were beating up Santana Ortiz, and they handcuffed them. Then you had Wardlow beating up Sammy Guevara, put his face right through a chair, and you just had MJF sitting on top of the on the turnbuckle, looking down, just like he just looked like such like the evil villain. And then Tully Blanchard got involved too, because you get after FTR handcuffed Santana Ortiz, they set him up. They set him up for Tully to do his finisher onto Santana Ortiz, who are handcuffed, so there's no way they could protect themselves. Knocked the whole inner circle out. So now you just have Jericho left, which MJF and Wardlow were both beating up on Jericho. And even, you know, then Tully hands MJF the bat, and MJF started beating Jericho with the bat. You know, Jericho's already bleeding. He's like, you know, crawling on MJF, kind of like pleading him, like, please, you know, stop beating me. But, you know, he still continued to beat down. He told the whole group, you know, to carry Jericho outside the ring. So they did, and they had Wardlow hold him up, and they're basically on top of the ramp. Give Wardlow the signal. Wardlow picks Jericho up, slams him, or throws him off the ramp into a pile of like garbage or whatever. So now Jericho's on there, and he looks dead. He's like totally bleeding, and then the whole group just stands right on the ramp for a great group shot right at the end of the episode. Amazing. Like, who would have thought that would just happen on like a regular on like a regular episode of Dynamite? Like I said, I believe they had that, so we can all forget about the botch and just move on. But what an amazing debut. Now, they have not called themselves the Horsemen, and I was really hoping that they would like stand up there and like do this or something, you know, just kind of like when the Elite or Bullet Club, when they did their little reunion, they all did the Too Sweet sign. I was hoping that they would do that too, but again, they didn't officially say what their name were, so I guess we'll figure that out in next week, which would be, I believe, their special St. Patrick's Day episode, so that's going to be cool. My reaction to this was just like, wow, like amazing. I was already a big fan of MJF, and very glad that Sean Spears is now back to be part of like a main, you know, big group and a main storyline. And then of course, you know, I didn't like FTR at first, but now I like them because they respond to my tweets, but also I'm just fine with them now. Yeah, I'm very, very excited. Just now we have several really big main factions going on in AEW. Cannot wait to see them all just kill each other. So right now you can already see Inner Circle versus Four Horsemen. So that's going to be cool. I mean, maybe possible Blood and Guts show if they ever brought that pay-per-view back. Yeah. That's all I gotta say about that. I will be writing an article about this too, so if you don't want to watch my video, you can read on my article. I'll share on my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, mostly for wrestling stuff, at Shining Polaris. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah, I probably maybe a little video about Sacrifice this weekend, so we'll see. But again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!